5 years ago, my life as I knew it ended. It was graduation day, the day I was supposed to be celebrated. Instead, my family threw a massive party for my brother, who had dropped out of college. While I sat home alone with my diploma, my dad called me just to say, "Sure, you got a degree, but you're still a failure and a disappointment in my eyes." I just said, "Thanks for finally saying it out loud." That was 5 years ago. Yesterday, I executed a plan that changed everything. And now they've sent me 15 texts begging, "Please answer, we're sorry." I wasn't even planning to post this, but the thought of it has been driving me nuts, and I want to see if anyone else has had anything like this happen. I guess it's not even the worst thing you'll read on here, but it's just so, I don't know, petty. I keep replaying it in my head. So yeah, let me take you back to where it all began. My family always made a big deal about education, or at least that's what I thought. Since I was a kid, the mantra was grades first. But there was a difference between me and my brother Dwayne. He's the youngest, and from the beginning, he was the golden child. He had that dumb charm thing, always joking around, making a mess, leaving his stuff everywhere. He was the guy who could get away with anything, and I was the one who got lectures about setting an example. I used to think maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But looking back now, it was so obvious. He was their priority, and I was just there. The graduation day I'm talking about was different. It happened last month, actually. It was weird in itself because they didn't do a big in-person thing thanks to the usual reasons, and to be honest, I was fine with it. I'm not exactly the type who loves all the speeches and shaking hands. I figured we'd at least have a small dinner or something. I didn't need anything huge, just something. The morning started off kind of off. Mom was in the kitchen on her phone a lot, not really talking. Dad was in his usual mood, reading news on his tablet, barely looking up when I came in. Dwayne, no surprise, was still sleeping. He'd dropped out of college like 2 years ago, but my parents acted like that was just his journey or whatever. I kept thinking something was weird. Mom kept checking her phone, then leaving the room, then coming back and pretending she was just answering a group chat. She says she's going out to get coffee, asks if I want anything, but doesn't really wait for my answer. She leaves, and the door slams. Dad says nothing. I scroll through my phone for a bit, trying not to get in my head about it. I'm usually pretty chill, but I started wondering if I did something wrong. So I went to check on Dwayne because I could hear him yelling at someone on his phone from down the hall. He's actually up now, and I hear my name. So I'm like, WTF? I walk in, and he's like, "Oh, didn't realize you were home." Which is weird. I literally never go anywhere. He's in his boxers, sitting on his bed, eating leftover pizza and watching some streamer on his laptop. He acts like I'm not even there. I asked him if he was doing anything today, and he kind of shrugs, says he's got plans but doesn't say what. Fast forward a bit. I'm in the living room. I got my diploma in the mail the day before, so I set it on the table. I figured maybe they'd want to see it or take a picture. Nobody even looks at it. I text my cousin Rebecca. She says, "Congrats." Asks if I'm going to the party later. I'm like, "What party?" She says, "Oh, never mind, thought you knew." I'm like, "What the F is going on?" I just leave it for a second, thinking maybe she meant something else. Then Mom comes back with groceries, but it's just bags of snacks, not even stuff we usually eat. She's whispering in the hallway with Dad. I can hear them arguing. Mom says something about timing and not spoiling it. I go to the kitchen. Dad bumps into me and just grunts, doesn't apologize. I ask what's up. He just says not to worry about it. Around noon, Mom says she and Dad are heading out for a bit, something about needing to pick up a gift for Grandma. I kind of laugh and say, "Oh, is Grandma coming over later?" She just nods, but not really looking at me. Dwayne is already gone, didn't say bye, just slammed the front door. I'm trying not to get in my own head about it, but I'm just sitting there scrolling, playing with my phone, thinking maybe I should just order pizza and watch something dumb. It gets weird when I start getting texts from random relatives like, "Congrats, so proud of you," all that, but nothing from my parents, nothing from Dwayne. I see someone tag me on Facebook, but it's just a meme, nothing about graduation. I text my aunt, she doesn't reply. I start to get that weird feeling like, why am I left out of whatever is going on? And then I get a picture, full-on group shot, balloons, banner that says, "Congrats, Dwayne," all over it. It's not even subtle. I see my mom, my dad, Dwayne with a cake, a bunch of family, some people from our neighborhood, even the neighbor's kid who broke our mailbox last month. Everyone is smiling, laughing, clearly having a great time. I'm just staring at my phone like, is this for real? Nobody even said anything to me. Not even a, "Hey, we're out," or, "Do you want to come?" Nothing. I call my mom, straight to voicemail. Same with Dad. I text Dwayne. He leaves me on read. I text my cousin again, ask her where it is. She just says she thought I was coming, that she didn't know I wasn't invited. I say, "Never mind, don't worry about it." I sit there, watching the group chat blow up with pics and videos. Nobody even mentions me. I see my diploma on the table right where I left it. I try not to lose it. I just get up and start cleaning the kitchen, just to do something. I can't even bring myself to eat anything. I just drink water and scroll through TikTok for like an hour. Later that night, Dad calls. I answer, thinking maybe he's going to explain. Maybe apologize. But nope. He just says, "So, you got your degree, but honestly, you're still a disappointment. You just don't get it. Dwayne's the one who really matters to this family." Like, not even trying to sugarcoat it. Just straight up. I don't even argue. I just say, "Thanks for finally saying it out loud." And I hang up. He calls back. I let it ring out. I go back in the kitchen, take my diploma and put it in a drawer. I hear the front door. Mom comes in, doesn't even look at me, just heads to a room, slams the door. I think about saying something, but what's the point? I go to my room, lock the door. I text a couple of people I trust, just ask them if I'm crazy for being mad. They say no, it's messed up, but what can you do? Family is family. I'm just done. I decide right there. I'm not letting this go. I'm not going to just take it and pretend everything's fine. It's not even about the party. It's just the way they act like I don't exist, like I'm just... whatever. I sit there staring at the wall, just thinking. I'm not even sad. I'm just pissed. I'm not letting this slide. That's the night it all changed. I started making plans. I started looking through old messages and bank statements just because I wanted to see if I was losing it or if they really had been using me. And yeah, I found transfers for bills that I know didn't go to anything I use. Cash I gave Mom that she said was for groceries, but I remember seeing her give Dwayne money the same day. I went through my emails and found one from Dad months ago asking for my card info for a subscription, which I know now is for Dwayne's stuff. I screenshot everything. I end up texting Rebecca and ask her if she ever noticed anything weird about family money stuff. She says, honestly, yeah, but she didn't want to get in the middle. She tells me she heard Mom once tell her aunt that Colt is so responsible he can help out a little more. It's only fair. Dwayne's struggling. I started a note on my phone, just writing out every time I can remember Dwayne getting bailed out. The time he crashed Dad's car and they told everyone it was a mechanical problem. The time he got caught stealing from a store and Mom paid off the guy who ran the place. The time Dad got mad at me for not backing up my brother when he got in a fight at a party. All of it. I realized I've lost thousands to these people. I put together a spreadsheet of every dollar, every payment, every time I paid for something for the house that Dwayne used up. I wasn't even done. I just got more angry. The next day, I tell Mom I need to talk. She's on her phone, barely looks up. I say I know about the money. I want it back. She laughs, says I'm being dramatic. I tell her I'm serious. She says, "What are you going to do? Sue your own family?" I say, maybe. She puts her phone down, gets up in my face, says I need to respect her. I say, Respect goes both ways. She slaps me. I just stare at her. She says, "You're just like your father, always picking fights." I say no. I just want what's mine. She walks away, calls Dad. I hear her yelling in the next room. I go to my room, start pulling my stuff together. I text my group chat, tell them I'm moving out. A couple of friends say I can crash for a bit. I start packing. I leave the rest. I go downstairs. Dad's walking in the door, sees me with bags, asks where I think I'm going. I tell him, "I'm done, I'm leaving, and I want my money." He laughs, says, "You're not getting a cent. You owe this family everything." I say, "Not anymore." He blocks the door. I push past him. He grabs my arm. I shake him off. He yells something about being ungrateful. I slam the door and leave. I crash with a friend for a few days, get a little place after that. It's not great, but at least it's mine. I cut off their access to my accounts, change passwords, switch my number on anything joint. I send them a spreadsheet with what they owe me. Every dollar, every date. I say, "Don't call me unless it's to pay me back." I block Dwayne everywhere. I block Mom. I leave Dad unblocked just so he can see my messages. I make it clear I'm not playing anymore. It's wild how fast people start calling when their comfort gets yanked. First clue something was shifting was this random text from Mom early on a Monday. She says, "Call me when you wake up, it's important." I kind of roll my eyes because it's always important when they need something. I ignore it. My phone keeps buzzing. Dad, then Mom again, then my cousin Felipe, who never texts unless someone's in the hospital. I finally pick up for Felipe and he says, "Your dad's freaking out about the bills." I just say, "I'm done paying for other people's mistakes." He goes quiet. Says, "Yeah, but it's still family." I hang up. The electric company calls. The house payment bounced. I already took my name off, but I guess Dad tried to add me back without asking. I call the company, tell them not to let anyone do that without my consent. The lady is all polite, says she'll flag the account. The family group chat is basically a war zone now. Rebecca keeps me updated. Mom is posting stuff like, "Some people forget who raised them," and Dad is throwing shade about ungrateful kids. Dwayne is just spamming memes about betrayal. Felipe chimes in once, says, "Maybe we should hear Coulter's side." Nobody answers him. Mom shows up at my apartment, banging on my door saying she just wants to talk. She pushes past me, stands in the middle of my kitchen like she owns it. "You need to stop this. You're ruining your brother's future. You're making your father look bad." I tell her, "I'm just done paying for stuff that isn't mine." She says, "You're acting like a stranger. This isn't how family acts." I say, "It's not family when everyone's using you." She slaps me. I don't move. She glares and storms out. I just get colder. I go through every account I can think of, anything with my name, my info. I either lock it down or pull my name off. Old streaming accounts, utilities, even some memberships I barely use. I start to realize this isn't about the money anymore. It's about making them feel what it's like to be ignored, to be treated like an afterthought. The last straw is this message from Mom. "You've ruined us. Are you happy?" I don't answer. I just keep gathering everything, getting ready for the final move. The funniest thing is, I actually sleep better now. Not even mad, just waiting, getting everything lined up. I'm about to hit them where it hurts most, and they have no clue. So it's been 5 years since all that graduation day mess. And, not gonna lie, every year since, I kept waiting for things to just fade out. That never happened. I was still getting the random texts from my mom, sometimes a guilt trip, sometimes just a meme about forgiveness. Dad would call once a year, usually after Dwayne did something expensive, and act like nothing ever happened. Then, like 2 months ago, Rebecca sends me a screenshot from some real estate site. "Isn't this your parents' house?" It's up for auction, bank repossessed, all of it out there in public. I don't even react at first. I just ask her, Are you sure? She says, yeah. She checked the address. I searched for it, saw the same thing. Auction date, property details, the whole deal. I don't say anything for a while, just keep refreshing the page. I know they have no idea I've seen it. About 2 weeks later, Dad calls from a new number. I ignore it, but then he leaves a voicemail. He sounds tired, way older than I remember. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but we need help. The bank is taking the house. Dwayne's out of work. Your mom is sick with worry. We just need a little support to get back on our feet. I listened to that message 3 times. First time in years I actually felt nothing. Not mad. Not sad. Just done. So here's where I decided to go all in. I called the auction company, asked what it takes to bid. Turns out, not as hard as I thought. I got my paperwork together, put in a bid just high enough to win. Didn't even tell Rebecca. Kept it quiet. I just wanted to see if I could actually do it. Day of the auction, I show up, watch as a couple of investors try to lowball it, but I keep going. Nobody recognizes me. Not even the guy running the thing. I win the bid. I sign the papers. I walk out with the keys and the deed. I wait a few days. Finally, Dad calls again. He says, "We have to be out by the end of the month. Can you help us find a place?" Mom is crying in the background, Dwayne yelling. I say, "I bought the house." Silence. Then Dad says, "What?" I say, "Yeah, it's mine now. I'm not helping you stay. You made your choices." Dwayne grabs the phone, says, "You can't do this. You're scum. You're not family." I say, "You never treated me like family." Dad tries to talk over him, says, "You don't mean this. You're just angry." I say, "I'm not angry. I just don't care anymore." They try everything. Mom shows up at my place, bangs on the door, says, "Please, just let us stay until we figure it out." I say, "You have 30 days. Dwayne tries to block my car in the driveway, tries to shove me when I get out. I shove him back. He throws his phone on the ground, storms off. Dad just stands there, arms crossed, says, "You'll regret this. You're still a disappointment, degree or not." I say, "At least I'm not homeless because I expected someone else to save me." I give them the legal notice, just like anyone else. No special treatment, no more handouts. 30 days go by and they actually leave. I drive by the house and it's empty. No note, nothing left behind except a couple of broken chairs and some trash in the yard. Rebecca calls me. "You actually did it," I say. "Yeah." She says, "How do you feel?" I say, "Lighter, I guess." She laughs. "You know they're telling everyone you tricked them." I say, "Let them." The next morning I check my phone and there's 15 unread texts, all from Mom, Dad, Dwayne. "Please answer. We're sorry. Can we talk?" I don't reply. I just scroll through, screenshot the whole thing, then archive it. I rent the house out to a family I'll never meet. I don't go back. I don't look for closure. I don't tell anyone outside of Rebecca and my friends. So yeah, that's it. 5 years, 1,000 broken promises, and now they finally know what it feels like to be left out, ignored, powerless. I didn't do anything illegal. Didn't even yell. I just let them taste what they served me for years. And I'm not sorry. Not even a little. The wild part is, I still get those texts every couple of weeks. I just delete them. What would you have done? Would you have let it go? Or would you have done what I did? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. Thanks for listening.